So what are the school age years? School age begins at 6 and ends at 11. Yep, your 12-year-old is a teenager. We'll talk about that later. But the school age years are very important because first, it gets a little more quiet. You don't have as many tantrums. You don't have as many struggles. However, their concrete thinking can get in the way of a lot of things. When they tell you that they think that you hate them, they believe it because they're black and white. The number one task for parents in the school age years is to be the gray in their world, the ambiguous thought. They do not have it. Some people never outgrow this phase of development. I know that you know adults out there that are very black and white. So, of these milestones, what are they supposed to master by the end of their 11th year? Where one and foremost is to develop an internal sense of competence. What does that mean? Every time that you respond to your child, whether it's in a positive way or it's a negative way, it becomes part of who they hear on the inside. How many times have you made a mistake and you've heard an old message in your mind? That's somebody else's voice. It might be a teacher, a coach, your parent. Well, right now your children are internalizing everything that they hear and it's becoming part of who they are. So we want them to develop an internal sense of confidence, meaning that they can feel better from the inside rather than wanting to feel better from things that happen outside of them. If any of you out there in the adult years are wanting to feel better by looking outside of yourself, this you did not develop during your school age years. The next thing that we want them to do is that we want them to be able to develop a way to calm down, to learn, and to maintain self-control. Impulse control and delay of gratification is something that the children need to do by the end of their 11th year, approximately, these are bad percentages, but 60 to 80% of the time. Don't quote me on that one. But because they don't do it 100% of the time, actually nobody really does. As we get older, we do it better, and we kind of sort of master impulse control and delay of gratification when we're 24 years old. Supposedly. If that were true, there would not be credit card companies. Develop skills to succeed in their day-to-day. By the end of the 11th year, most people kind of get their habits. They have the particular way that they like to study. They have the particular way that they like to sit at the dining room table. They have the particular way that they like to fall asleep. That usually happens by the end of the 11th year. And finally, they develop and maintain relationships, right? While maintaining their own sense of self. This is what most parents come in and ask me, hey, can you work on my child's self-esteem? When you're feeling that your child is either giving up of themselves or they're pushing others too hard, or they everything has to be around their social circle, that's pretty normal. But by the end of their 11th year, we want them to be able to be in relationship, but also have a sense of who they are. Not 100%, of course. I know that there's adults out there that are wondering, what do I want to be when I grow up? But, the baseline, that deep foundation, we want them to be able to do that, and we want them to maintain relationships. If your children by the end of their 11th year have not reached these milestones, it's important to seek assistance and to help them out, because in adolescence it could become a problem. So school age kids, a little more complicated than when they were itty bitty tiny. But it's a wonderful, magical time, and you are still very important to their day-to-day and how they make decisions. So go out there and take care of your school-age kid.